Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. It is late by the time this hits my YouTube channel. It's probably about 1 a.m. Central Standard Time, which, if you're waking up across the pond, good morning. Hope you had a good night's rest. So here's the deal. I love having a YouTube channel. The great thing about a YouTube channel is that I never thought I would have even a penny of revenue. Not that that's great on its own, but that's not why you do it. You don't do it for clicks. You don't do it for views. You certainly don't do it for compensation. You do it for fun. And I think it's fun every day to wake up and think, okay, I have an idea of some videos I'm going to do, like a crystal opening commentary submission I can finally get to, maybe a crystal opening of my own, maybe I'm anticipating an offer to grade. But then when the news breaks, and it seems like, and I don't know, I've only played this game, right? So I don't know if other games are like this, but it just seems like MCOC has news breaking every day, sometimes multiple times a day. In fact, I can't keep up with it half the time. Uh, Recently, as in like the last 24 to 48 hours, I did a video about how there was compensation for Chinese Android players because the Chinese Android players were going to lose their Kabam server on May 20th, a week from, well, what was just Friday, May 13th. Now, I was assured that many Chinese players were on phones besides Androids and they would be unaffected. I haven't verified that with people yet. I guess I'll have to figure that out once May 20th passes. But at least they got compensation and at least they got a heads up. The same cannot be said for Venezuelan players, because my man El Chingo N sent this to me tonight, and I have never heard of the acronym so much used as VPN. Why? Because players from these countries, as well as who knows where else, are going to have to start using a different VPN to download the game, because this is important information for Venezuelan users, which says, I think on May 24th, the Google Play and I think maybe even Apple Store will stop letting you download Marvel Contest of Champions. This is a preview of what we hope and assume will be years and years and years down the road for places like, the United States. But if and when this game ever ends, and thus my YouTube channel's got to play something else or do some vlogs. I don't know. There's always those Oreos and pizzas I did 10 years ago. But when it ends, it's going to look like this, right? It's going to say that there's important information and thank us for playing the game and making friends. And of course, the hard part of this is that, like, I have a feeling if Kabam said, hey, the game's going to end in a month, so many people would say, I'm getting all my refunds. If I'm not going to own any more of this, what are they going to do? Negative unit ban me? They can't do anything. And so they'll ask Google Play or the Apple Store to have a mass refund. Now, when a game lets the Apple and Google Play Store traditionally know that they're ending a server, you can't request a refund. There is no refund available. And so I always wonder about that when I see a story like this, because we convince ourselves quite delusionally that we own our champions, that we own our logins, that we own access to the game. We don't own anything. And that, of course, is not a Kabam problem. It's not an MCOC problem. It's a mobile game or console game problem. We're just leasing some code that we purchased through servers we don't operate and through means that we don't understand mostly or have any right to own. And when Kabam wants to shut out the lights, we have no say. That also is like a warning where, like, if you think you're going to retire from the game, it's better to get out early than get out too late. I say that knowing that the community is why I'm still here, right? And why I hope that this game goes on for years to come. And honestly, it has very little to do with clicks or revenue, and has everything to do with friendship and communication. Everything you see behind me is not mine. existential way, I can't take any of that with me. Somebody's going to inherit it someday when I'm gone. But the relationships, the friendships, the memories, the people, I hope and I pray someday can live on with me wherever life takes us after this. I know that's a kind of deep and maybe even to some people dark way of ending a YouTube video, but I just think it's important to remember that in a way, this world is like these Venezuelan Kabam servers. We assume that it's always going to be around, but we're not going to be with it, at least not in the form that we currently take. And so we do our best to enjoy each day, each hour, each minute, each second as it comes. But ultimately, we're just passing through. And these Venezuelan players, well, now they're going to be in a position where they're going to maybe have to get that VPN game going or not play MCFC anymore. And that's too bad. I wonder how many more stories we're going to do on this channel that are like this. I don't know. But I do know that I have El Chingo in to thank for the heads up. China and Venezuela in the weekend have major news. Definitely not how I expected to have my YouTube channel finish up a day of uploads. But at the same time, that's why it's always interesting in the MCFC community to report on the news.